interesting one for me. It's a bit of a full circle opportunity for me. And I want to share with you how we started and maybe a little bit more about the vision and the history of the company, but more importantly, how everything that happened in the past has prepared us for the future. And literally, it's like it couldn't have been more beautifully created than the way it's unfolding. And so I want to share a little bit about that because it really does help us, maybe perhaps help you understand where we're headed in the future. So when we started Amare, it was back in 2017. Literally, you've heard the story. We started it in a garage. And initially, Amare was headed down the weight loss path, believe it or not. And I've launched so many weight loss programs in my career that I just didn't have it in me to launch another one. And so I think that we really wanted to take a different approach, try to turn the industry upside down a little bit. And one evening, late in the evening, actually early in the morning, I woke up from the middle of sleep and I had this epiphany that we are not the weight loss company, we're the mental wellness company. And if you understand, the stories of some of the original founders and you understand my personal story, my family, my wife and I and our four beautiful girls, we've been through our own mental wellness challenges. Our oldest daughter had a traumatic experience happen to her when she was 13 years old that led her down a pathway of drugs and alcohol and all kinds of challenges in her life. And her trauma is pretty severe. And we as a family didn't really know how to deal with this. We had never experienced anything like it. And if you are a parent and you have a child or you have a spouse or perhaps yourself has struggled with addiction in your past, or maybe currently, you understand how it can have an impact on the entire family. And so we were desperate back in 2013 when this originally happened. And we didn't know quite what to do about it. And everywhere we turned, there wasn't a lot of information. There wasn't a lot of education about mental wellness or some of these issues. And we turned to our daughter ended up in 25, actually 28 different residential treatment programs. They actually diagnosed her as being treatment resistant. So we were desperate to find solutions. And that kind of led to this whole impetus of looking at therapy and different modalities that we had never even considered before to help us to manage our mental wellness as a family, and particularly our oldest daughter. And so that journey led us to Amare and starting the mental wellness company. And her story, along with others that were there in the very beginning, it really became kind of a mission call for us, I guess you could say, that we felt like that in this world where nobody was talking about their mental wellness, what if we raised our hands and said, look, we're not only going to talk about it, but we're going to start to build a revolution around it. We're going to enlist other people who believe and feel as passionately as we do, because if we can start to destigmatize this, imagine what can happen in the world. So back in 2018, when we launched, we really did launch a revolution. Our vision was to lead the global mental wellness revolution. It still is today. And our mission was to do it through a platform of products and programs and a group of passionate people who believed in our core values of love, innovation, integrity, service, and humility. And I love that Sarah went through those core values because they were really important in launching the mental wellness revolution to us, that we, particularly the core values of love, service, and humility. And we really did, in many ways, turn the industry upside down because nobody was doing what we were doing. And I think people, frankly, were scared to do what we were doing. And when we first launched with the concept of the mental wellness company, which, by the way, we own today, and we are the largest mental wellness company in the world, and certainly the largest in the direct sales industry. And we are doing something so revolutionary that now, 8 years later from when we actually started the company, and 7 years from the day that we actually launched the company, you have so many competitors out there that are jumping in the ring. major multi-billion-dollar companies that have now publicly gone on the record to say that they are turning to mental wellness, that they're turning to a mental wellness platform. And so I just think it's fascinating that we started this little revolutionary a group of people before the pandemic even happened. And then when the pandemic set in, we noticed a couple of things. We had to shift. We had to shift our messaging. We had to even shift the business model that we were using to become more virtual, more digitally aware, so that people could stay at home during the pandemic where they were quarantined and still build a business. And we had to shift our messaging from a message of more depression, anxiety, to more optimization to meet the market where they were. And it's so fascinating to me that when that happened, we started launching products like Edge and then Happy Juice shortly thereafter. All of a sudden, it just started to resonate. It was a combination of being in the right place at the right time with the right group of people, with the right product and the right mission. It was a perfect storm of an opportunity for us to start to grow this revolution exponentially. And over the last 3.5 years, the company has grown substantially. I think we've 10 times what our volume was. And many of you are here today because there were people that believe in this mission, and you could see the value of it, whether it's for using the products for yourself or using them for your family or building a business for yourself. We are building an army now that is 1.6 million people strong. And we're just getting started. And that's what I want to help you to understand now, that this little mission, this purpose-filled mission that we launched 8 years ago or 7 years ago officially, is now growing exponentially, and we are in 45 markets. So what happened in my Amare journey is about 3.5 years ago, I ended up leaving the company. And it was a very hard thing for me at the time. And I love this little baby that we created, but I had to leave. And I want to tell you why. Because I knew at some point that we were going to need investment in the company. And I kept my equity, my investment in Amare all through that period of time that I was gone. And I knew that at some point that the company was going to become the big behemoth mental wellness company that I always envisioned that it would be. But I took a little bit of a different journey. I ended up going to do some work for the first year that I left with a foundation that focuses on child sex exploitation and trafficking, because unfortunately that's something that we've had to deal with our oldest daughter. Another piece of trauma that has literally shaken us to the core. And so I had the opportunity to work with women who had survived sex trafficking while I sat out under a non-compete with Amare. So is this crazy? I sat out under a non-compete with the company that I'm back at, right? You're wondering, how did that happen? What on earth, how did I ever find my way back here to Amare? Well, about a year after leaving and doing work with the foundation, I started back in the direct sales space doing some consulting. And one of the individuals that I did some consulting for that I met 2.5 years ago in March of 2021, his name happened to be David Chung. And David eventually hired me to come on and help to build a direct sales arm of his division, iLabs, which is his manufacturing division. And we were well into product formulation, developing comp plans. And I honestly thought that maybe what we were developing was going to be Amare's greatest competition. It happened to kind of be and fit perfectly in the mental wellness space. So, I obviously helping to found the mental wellness company, and mental wellness being such an important part of our lives, what else would I do? Like, this is what I know that I was put on this earth to do. And so that is what we were doing with David at the time when Dr. Sean Talbot reached out to me 8 months later, told me that we were looking for investment, that we were looking for potentially a new owner. And lo and behold, I connected David with the Amare team, and the rest is history. David acquired Amare. I continued working with David on this project that we are now going to roll into Amare. I'm not going to say any more about it other than it is perhaps the most exciting thing that I have ever launched in my career, and that includes Amare. I think this will be a multi-billion-dollar product in and of itself. and we've been working on it for the last year. I think you're going to see iterations and products being launched in the next year. And so that's what I've been working on until about, I don't know, 2 weeks ago. Someone got a good idea that perhaps maybe I needed to come back in and be the general manager for the Americas. And so here I am. I'm back, you guys, and it's like literally a full circle moment, because this is the position that I left when I left Amare. So it really, truly is full circle. And I couldn't be happier to be here because, and let me tell you why. Over the last 2.5 years, I had the opportunity to watch David Chung, to work with him, to see how he interacts, to see what his core values are, to see if they matched my core values. And one of the most amazing things that I witnessed when I first started working with David was I started to see that he's not just a visionary. David is a mastermind of visions. And what I mean by that is that during the pandemic, David built over 10 different companies that helped to manage supply chain, because supply chain became such an issue during the pandemic. So David's philosophy was, if you can't, rent it or buy it, you build it. And that's what he did. So I started to see that David was going well beyond what is called vertical integration. And he was literally controlling from the concept with a staff of scientists that would blow your minds, that are able to ideate and create technologies and new products and intellectual property that we can own. He can ideate and create product that goes through the entire supply chain where we manufacture it. We are able to provide the packaging options. He actually has a glass company that can manufacture glasses and bottles. He has an IT technology company that can handle all of the back office systems and the integration strategies when it comes to customer service and shipping fulfillment. He also has the ability to create branding. He's got a whole brand ideator group. He's got a company that can handle creative design and video production. Like, he literally was controlling from concept to customers' hands this supply chain, so that the experience that you have as a customer or as a brand partner is the best in the industry. It's like gold standard. And I saw that, and it made me so excited. I could hardly stand that we had an opportunity to not only innovate when it came to product, but that we would do something in the industry that nobody else was doing, not even the multi-billion-dollar companies. And so I saw that vision. And as he acquired Amare, and so many of you are there because you knew that I came to Amare, and you came and you got involved with us. And I felt a sense of responsibility and was so excited to see that David brought an expertise to the table that Amare desperately needed, with all of the stockouts that perhaps you've experienced in the past, or customer service issues or IT technology issues. Like, we were able to come in and provide gold standard. And that's what David Chung was able to provide here. And I witnessed that, and I saw him around employees, and I saw him manage contracts, and I saw the kind of integrity that he had, and how he operates out of such honesty, because his reputation is everything to him. And then as we brought in Ozma, who has a pristine track record in the direct sales industry, that understands this business, that is truly the quintessential CEO. She is able to come in from an operational perspective and has the knowledge and the know-how to create this company so that we can manage growth moving forward, that we can manage everything that you need in order to build your business and grow your organization by 5 or 10 times. And that's what I want to conclude with, is what it means to you. Because as David acquired this company, there were two things that he believed were Amare's greatest assets. The first and foremost was each and every one of you. He's an entrepreneur, and he understands what it means to be an entrepreneur. And he is 100% dedicated to making sure that we create runways so that you can be successful. And number two, he loved the idea of the mental wellness company. He believes in who we are as a company. He thinks that we can continue to own this space, that we can become authorities, that we can do something that people care about in this world, and that they look to us for answers, and that this brand can become a household brand. That's what David saw, and that's what Ozma sees. That is certainly what I continue to see. And I feel like now we have a group of leaders like David and Ozma and the team that Ozma is bringing on, the executive team, that can really take the company to the next level and help each of you to really see your dreams become fulfilled. So I'll conclude by saying this. My daughter today, 29 years old, doing amazing. I mean, I can't tell you how much gratitude I have in my heart. And that 14 years ago, we started a journey as a family that helped us to find ways to optimize our mental wellness. And that those programs and practices are in our home today. We take it very seriously. We take it as seriously as we take our physical health. And we are doing things that are transforming our family because we are living what we teach and what we practice. And so I hope tonight that all of you can see the vision, that you can see that everything that has happened in the last 7 years with Amare, whether you're brand new today or you started 7 years ago with us, has led us to this moment, and that we're about to climb on a rocket ship that is going to explode into the atmosphere. And you're going to see amazing things happen in this business as we launch some of the programs and products that we have planned for the future. And most importantly, that you can have confidence that this is a safe place for you to be able to build and for you able to see your dreams become realized. So I'm honored to be back.